Meeting a romantic partner offline in the real world nowadays is difficult. And most people will take that as a reason to just not try. And in this video, I want to convince you that that's a really great thing. Difficult is good in dating. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Achel Rudolph and I'm a social confidence coach. And for the last 3 years, I've helped hundreds of men, especially from the South Asian background, develop the kind of confidence that is necessary to go out and meet attractive people in real life. And when you think about that, it's just not something that's really done anymore. And most people would say it's way too difficult. And they'll go online and they will try with the apps, they'll try with the Instagram. And in fact, I know that there are people out there who spend a lot of time perfecting the art of messaging strangers online. There are courses on this. There's even agencies that help men find the right messages for DMs to attractive women. I have a friend who actually gets messages like this on a regular basis almost. And she told me the other day that someone messaged her that he had seen pictures of her on another account being used. And that woman didn't even have any pictures on her account. But still, when someone says your pictures are being used somewhere, you're going to respond to that. So she said, whoa, where, what? And then he posted the account of NASA saying that her smile was so infectious that it cannot belong to planet Earth. So at that point, she realized that something slightly fishy was going on, but he didn't stop messaging. He had this whole follow-up sequence with cheesy, somehow quite ridiculous lines. Like, there are people out there who are building these kinds of messaging systems with follow-up sequences, templates that you can use. And now it's very easy to reach out to hundreds of women online. And some coach out there is getting a lot of money for creating these scripts, and a lot of people all over the world, billions of people, have access to a way now to contact an attractive woman online. It's too easy to do that. You're competing with too many people if you do that. How are you going to stand out? Even having good photos is becoming too easy nowadays. Again, someone who has access to some new AI models can create crazy photos that look so much better than the person looks in real life. Photos are not going to be trusted in the future because of that. What's going to be trusted is if you can do something very difficult, like approaching someone in the real world. You can't fake that. You cannot yet install a program and an automated follow-up sequence in your brain that will spit out the right messages in a real-world conversation. That is still difficult, and that's a great thing because that means you will not be competing against someone on the other side of the world who paid a few bucks to get the right messaging system. Some other people say that it doesn't make sense to learn how to approach a stranger because you should just use that energy on becoming a high-value man, top 1%, loaded, ripped, rich individual, and then meeting people, meeting women especially, will be super easy for you. Again, you want to think, is that a good thing? If it's easy in that situation, what will happen is that you might easily attract women and partners, but you will attract mostly women who are not there for you as a person, but for the wealth and the resources that you've accumulated. And so you won't be easily emotionally invested in those women, also because it will be too easy to attract them. Someone like Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't have a good reason to get emotionally invested in someone because it's easy for him to replace any given woman. And so it's a good thing, again, if it was difficult for you to find the right partner. If you have invested a lot of energy and a lot of time, you're going to be more likely to actually emotionally bond with that person and say, hey, let's really make this work. It's not easy to find a partner. It was not easy, maybe it is now, but it was not easy back then. And if you were able to find someone back then who stayed with you for who you were and not for what you already had, that's going to bond you together and make sure that that relationship lasts. You already know this, but money is not a replacement for confidence, and having a woman, having a partner is also not a replacement. You want to be confident irrespective and independent of those external acquisitions. And so that is another reason why doing difficult things is actually helpful and good for you, because the only real way of building confidence is to do difficult things. There is no other way. You have to choose something that you want to do that is difficult, that not everyone can do, and then learn how to do that. And only when you get to that point where you are clearly doing difficult things that not a lot of other people can do, and you know that you are able and getting better, that's when you have true confidence. That's when you really believe in yourself. That's when you believe that you have what it takes to succeed, because you're succeeding already. In fact, I would say you should be looking for the most difficult thing that you can imagine doing and then do that, because that's how you really prove what you are made of. And you might fail a few times, you might fail a few hundred times, you might fail 1,000 times, but I can guarantee you that if you go out and actually start, you will improve. The big question here arises, and this is how I want to wrap up this video: how do you actually choose what difficult things to do? Because you can't do a lot of different difficult things in one lifetime. Well, here you need to be very aware of your value system, because you can only excel in one or few handful of dimensions, and that'll correspond to your value system. What do you value? What constitutes a high achievement in your own eyes? Just because I tell you that you should be going out and talking to strangers and getting good at that, of course doesn't mean that you should be doing that. But if it's your value system as well, to be able to connect, to be able to build deeper, authentic, meaningful connections without having to use technology for that, then you should probably get good at that. And then the good thing is that once you get good at whatever your values are, you actually become confident in that value system, and you attract the people who have similar value systems. Because in that value system, you will be at the top. You will be top 1% in that particular dimension, and everyone else who cares about that dimension will look up to you and say, wow, that's impressive. It helps that most people have courage and connection as part of their value system, and most people nowadays also have real-world connection as part of their value system. Most people value and cherish it when someone can connect through the real world rather than through this weird medium of screens and electrons. And so if you can do that, there'll be lots of people who are extremely excited and will be happy to go on dates with you. And if that's something you want to learn how to do, there is a link in the description where I can tell you more about how I help people achieve that kind of confidence. For now, leave a like and a comment if you want to bring this video to more people, and also subscribe to this channel if you want to stay in touch with me. All the best, good luck, Samgachadvam, Namaskar.